País de Nicaragua es grande y tiene historia compleja. Nicaragua tiene solo dos lagos en América Central. Lago Nicaragua tiene diverso ecosistema. Otro hecho interesante son la historia de Nicaragua. La historia de Nicaragua es relacionada con corrupción, catástrofe y guerra. Tú no encuentras una parte aburrida en su historia. Nicaragua es muy interesante y una tierra de historia. There's only one really famous person from Nicaragua, Ruben Dario. He was a famous poet. He published his first poem at age 12, and its name was Azul. People say about him that he transformed the long, complex Spanish language to short, easy stanzas in his poetry. And he was forced to marry Rosario Murillo. Her brother was a very nice brother because Rosario wanted to marry Ruben. So he got Ruben drunk, and Rosario came in with I'm expecting lingerie on, and they, you know what they did? And after that, her brother came in with the gun and forced him to say his marriage right to her, and he was forced to marry her, and then he said that was his worst mistake in his life. And after that, he's said to be the father of the modernist movement. He was a master of rhyme, imagery, and symbolism, and he is said to be the most important Spanish poet outside of Spain. This is a map of Nicaragua. It got its independence from Spain in 1821. It is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and it is the largest Central American country, and it is the least densely populated. Its geography has two main points, Lake Nicaragua and Ometepe Island. Lake Nicaragua is nicknamed the Sweet Sea, and when the Spanish first discovered Lake Nicaragua, they thought it was a sea at first. It is the second largest lake in Latin America, second to only Lake Titicaca in Chile, and it holds the world's only freshwater sharks, which come from the Caribbean island through San Juan River. Ometepe Island is the island in Nicaragua, Lake Nicaragua. It is comprised of one extinct volcano and one volcano erupted in the last 50 years. It is the second largest island in a lake. It holds pre-Columbian petroglyphs, and it's said that when Aztecs were defeated by the conquistadors, Aztec refugees inhabited the island. And this is a picture of, I think that's the extinct volcano, and they're taking a picture from the volcano that erupted in the past 50 years, and you can see that they're connected by lava flows. The country has had 3 major earthquakes within the last century. In 1931, there was a major earthquake near Managua that killed 2,500 people. The most major one was where it was right under Managua, destroyed the whole city. 5,000 people were killed, 20 more were injured, and 250 were left homeless. And this picture sitting in the way. The A's was used for winter clothes and frozen TV dinners. And if you don't know, Nicaragua was tropical, and they didn't have microwaves, so they couldn't heat up the TV dinners. And then the most recent one was in 1992, when 116 were killed, but it sent a tsunami across Central America and killed a whole lot of other people in different countries. Nicaragua is said to be one of the first major civilizations in the world. On Monkey Point, right on the Caribbean coast, there's evidence of 8,000-year-old civilization. and in Managua you can find 6,000-year-old footprints. Nicaragua got its independence in 1821. Right after its independence, there was a civil war. And there was two cities in it. It was a liberal Leon versus conservative Granada. Leon hired a U.S. congressman. He was from Tennessee. I think his last name was William. It started with two W's. I think it was W. William. Well, the congressman took advantage of Leon for his personal gain, and that led to their downfall, and the conservatives won, and they ruled for 30 years. After the conservatives won the Civil War, they wanted to build a canal. The USA was denied a canal at first, but when the US went to Panama to build a canal, Nicaragua rushed to Germany, Japan, and Great Britain and asked them if they wanted to build a canal. And then about 2 years later, the U.S. signed a treaty to build a canal where Lake Nicaragua was, but they had no intention to build. They only wanted a monopoly, so they knew they were the only canal in Central America. And most recently, plans were unveiled in 2006 to build a canal across Lake Nicaragua by 2018. And about 100 years later, Somoza dynasty came to power. It was a U.S.-backed dictatorship because they allowed the USA to launch the Bay of Pigs invasion from Nicaragua. The Bay of Pigs invasion was an invasion of Cuba, and it mainly was because of the Cuban Missile Crisis, because the Soviets put nuclear missiles in Cuba, and John F. Kennedy didn't like that, so he sent troops into Cuba to destabilize the nuclear weapons, and Nicaragua let them do that. The dynasty used the National Guard ruthlessly. They would kill innocent citizens, they would destroy cities, they would take advantage of farmers and burn their crops. And the 1972 earthquake foreign aid was found to be put into their family and friends. I don't know why these pictures went from it, because I remember going through and setting them back, but it says that the foreign aid was distributed amongst family and friends, which allowed the Nicaragua Revolution to come, which was FSLN. It was backed by Fidel Castro because of the invasion of the Bay Pigs. Pedro Joaquin was killed. He was a newspaper editor. He was basically the only person there that was setting the truth into a newspaper, and then the government killed him. Rebels got an army just like Libya today. They used guerrilla warfare to capture major cities. And after that, Somoza was overthrown by the rebels in 1979, but since it was a U.S.-backed dictatorship, Reagan tried to regroup the National Guard to reclaim Nicaragua. And right after he regrouped the National Guard, the press and food supply was shut down, and 10,000 people died because Ronald Reagan tried to regroup the National Guard. In 1987, a treaty was signed with other Central American countries that ended all foreign support from Soviet Union and the USA. And Ronald Reagan said that was not for the spill, because he said that every Central American country that's U.S. backed would soon, their economies would soon fail and would go into war again. But that was shot down because in 1993 Central America was at peace from histories of war. And Nicaragua